Okay, my name is Niklas Fahrngruber, and together with my colleague Kenneth Dsouza, I am now going to lead you through our presentation on the FIFA Association, giving a closer look or an analysis on internal and external environments of the organization. The presentation itself is going to be structured as follows. After a brief introduction into associations in general, what types there are, and what the usual purpose of an association is, we will jump straight to FIFA, giving you some key facts about the organization as well as its structure, mission and vision. After that, we will go into the analysis part of the presentation, looking into both internal and external factors, using different models such as PESTEL, SWOT and the Frio analysis, as well as the EVR model, which we will then be using to summarize how FIFA slots into the different types of associations that we have. As you can see, in today's era, there's plenty of associations, even just in the sports industry, with UEFA being one of 6 federations within FIFA. Speaking associations in general, there are 3 types of associations, quoting Stumpf. Associations or clubs can be groups of 2 or more people, united by a common interest or goal. The second option, trade associations, can be founded and funded by businesses operating in a specific field, whereas voluntary associations are usually formed by individuals to accomplish a specific purpose, mostly as volunteers. So let's get to the FIFA Association with some facts and figures from today, but also talk about when and why FIFA was created in the first place. FIFA was established in 1904 by 7 national associations from Western Europe to promote the game of football, to foster friendly relations among national associations and confederations, and their officials and players, by promoting the organization of football matches at all levels and to control every type of association football. FIFA's goal, enshrined in its statutes, is the constant improvement of football all over the world. FIFA is all about modernizing football to be global, accessible and inclusive in all aspects. Not just 1 or 2 continents, but everywhere, resulting in 211 members as of 2022. Obviously, the FIFA Association is mostly known for the FIFA World Cup, which was first commenced in 1930. The 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar will be the 22nd in total. Even though FIFA is officially a non-profit organization, they are still generating huge revenues, with a revenue of $766 million in 2022, of which all winnings are supposed to go back into improving football all over the world.
Moving on to the structure of FIFA, there are 6 continental confederations. These confederations are from different continents such as Europe, Africa, Central and North America, South America, Asia, and Oceania. These continental confederations consist of 211 associations in total. The top legislative body of FIFA is the FIFA Congress. The Congress selects its members for the FIFA Council, or FIFA's primary decision-making body. Sepp Blatter, who was the previous president, had some corruption allegations and had to step down. The current president is Gianni Infantino. The final composition of FIFA Council will consist of 37 members, which include 1 president elected by the FIFA Congress, 8 vice presidents, and 28 other members elected by the member association. All of them will have a term of 4 years. Moving on to strategy and vision of the FIFA Association, the direction that the organization takes in order to achieve its goals by using its resources can be defined as strategy. The mission and the vision of the organization drives the organization towards the strategic direction. This is as per Johnson & Co. Also, according to Bushman and Coleman, a company's mission statement is a single phrase that illustrates the company's general goals, and the former future desired state is defined as its vision. Moving on to FIFA's vision, FIFA updates their vision every 3 years. For the year 2020 to 2023, FIFA have jotted down 11 goal visions. These include to modernize the football regulatory framework, grow revenues for reinvestment in football, increase the efficiency of the organization, globalize our competitions, increase global competitiveness, deliver sustainable tournaments, maximize impact on global football development, accelerate the growth of women football, harness technology in football, protect positive values in football, impact society through the power of football. By looking at these visions provided by FIFA, we can come to a conclusion that they have one main goal, that is to improve football on a global landscape. Moving on to pestle analysis. Pestle analysis gives a broad overview of the external environment that can affect an organization. There are two functions of running a pestle analysis. One, it provides the environment which the company operates. Second, it provides data and information for the organization to predict what they might encounter. This is as per Dsouza. FIFA as an organization, even though they have officially based in Switzerland, it hosts multiple tournaments and events across the world. The organization needs to adapt to the external environment. This means that FIFA focuses its changes every 4 years. We have given a brief summary of the pestle analysis which we conducted for the Russia 2018 World Cup as well as the Qatar 2022 World Cup. As the Qatar World Cup is right around the corner, we will focus our pestle analysis on the Qatar World Cup. Qatar as a nation do not conduct elections, hence they do not have a democratic government. They have a coalition government which consists of individuals from the royal family. The government has invested a lot of money in the infrastructure of the Qatar World Cup, and this estimates around 200 billion. Moving on to the economic aspect, Qatar is one of the richest countries in the world, and this is due to its abundant gas and oil reserves. The current GDP of Qatar stands at 179 billion, and the FIFA World Cup is going to impact the economy of Qatar by 17 billion. The most prominent impact of the World Cup will come from surge of foreign visitors. Moving on to the social aspect, over the years there have been many reports of human rights violations. This is towards different communities such as the LGBTQ community, migrant workers, and women in general. The country still practices male guardianship and denies women to make their key decisions. After the backlash FIFA faced for giving Qatar the hosting rights for the FIFA 2022 World Cup, the FIFA established human rights policy in 2017. Any nation bidding for the hosting of FIFA World Cup will have to come up with a plan of protecting human rights. Talking about the technology part, Qatar has been taking big strides towards technology advancements. The multiple stadiums built will have air conditioning. Qatar stadiums will have retractable roofs, LED lights, and smart Wi-Fi. This also has charging stations in them. And all of this will be powered by the wind turbines that is generated naturally. A new app called NavBuddy will help fans navigate in and around the stadium. Moving on to the environment aspect, FIFA pledged to hold a carbon-neutral competition, but experts suggest otherwise. Experts claim that the tournament will produce 3.6 million units of carbon emission, most of which will be generated because of transport and infrastructure. FIFA have started a climate strategy, and that will focus on FIFA being carbon neutral by 2040. Moving on to the legal aspect, Qatar's judicial system is vigorous. Drinking alcohol in public is prohibited, but for the World Cup, alcohol zones are constructed. Clothing restrictions are also enabled, where there will be restrictions while visiting public places. Public display of affection is prohibited, and fans are expected to follow this. Moving on to SWOT analysis. SWOT looks at the internal and external factors both together. As per rule, SWOT analysis is used for strategic planning. It consists of strengths and weaknesses, which look at the internal dimensions, and opportunities and threats, which look at the external dimensions. Let's talk about strengths. FIFA's greatest strength is in its associations, 211 countries to be precise. FIFA has high brand awareness because it's the official body that organizes the World Cup. Collaborations with leading brands like Coca-Cola, Adidas, and Visa is one of the greatest strengths they have. Moving on to weaknesses, the rights of club football has overshadowed tournaments which are organized by FIFA. The countries participating in FIFA will have a major impact on the viewership based on the fan following. Allegations of corruption have hampered their brand image drastically, and this has been also shown in a new documentary which is out on Netflix. Moving on to the opportunities, training facilities and academies can be developed by the organization in many regions to improve the game and make it global. Development of sport in countries which are more dominant by other sports would also be for focus and an opportunistic market for FIFA. Moving on to the threats, due to the high corruption, there can be a possibility of mismanagement of funds. There is a big threat of racism in football that impacts FIFA negatively. As we've seen over the previous years, clubs are trying to get bigger themselves, and one of the prime examples is the Super League that was trying to be created.
Thank you, Kenny. The next analysis method that we're going to take a look at is the Fourier model, which, citing Johnson and his colleagues in 2018 and Amazon 2011, characterizes value, rarity, inimitability, as well as organizational support for the resources and capabilities of the organization. We have applied the Fourier framework to the resources of the FIFA Association, separating tangible and intangible resources, as well as physical and human capital. Given our previous analysis, you can clearly see that, looking at the emotional aspect and importance of football all over the world, most of the resources that FIFA possesses are extremely valuable to the organization. But since there is a lot of money to make in the industry, there is also competition, resulting in the fact that a lot of the resources, for example the training centers, the FIFA app, and also the human capital of employees and referees, is neither rare nor inimitable. So in regards to the organizational support, you can say that, as expected, most of the resources within the increasingly big FIFA association have enough organizational support to reach the standards and goals of the organization. Going by this model, FIFA should definitely focus on their most valuable resources in order to keep their status as the #1 association in world football, while also improving aspects that aren't rare or inimitable anymore, such as the FIFA app or FIFA referees and coaches. Going to our last model, EVR gives an insight on how, citing Wilson and Campus 2001, both the internal and external environment interacts with the determination of an ideal and effective strategy. It also helps with analyzing strategic goals that organizations must accomplish in order to establish and maintain organizational effectiveness and success, quoting Thompson in 1999. In order to determine an ideal strategy, EVR looks at the environment, the values, and the resources of the organization, giving characterizations or names for the different outcomes. As you can see on the slide, in the middle of it, the ideal scenario is called EVR congruence, with each of the three aspects being connected and overlapping. In this case, the ideal strategy for the organization would be right in the middle, a good mix of all three elements. In the example of FIFA, which you can see on the right, we've come to the conclusion that their values have constantly drifted further apart from how they are handling both their environment and resources, which is why we have characterized FIFA as the unconsciously competent organization, going by Thompson's literature from 1999. On our next and final slide, we'll give you a deeper explanation into why we took that decision and give you an overall summary and conclusion. So, as we've mentioned before in our SWOT analysis, both the resources as well as the environment of FIFA are constantly changing, depending on whoever hosts the FIFA World Cup every 4 years. Their values, however, stating their official website, stay the same. Developing football, everywhere and for all. Organizing inspiring tournaments, and, last but not least, caring about society and the environment. But especially the last part of that makes you wonder, how does caring about society and the environment work whilst you're hosting a Winter World Cup in Qatar during a worldwide energy and climate crisis? There's another part to the truth though. Even though there is a lot of critique facing FIFA, as well as huge allegations of corruption ever since Sepp Blatter announced Qatar as host of the World Cup 12 years ago, football is still not just the biggest sport in the world, but also the biggest sporting event on the planet comes with the FIFA World Cup. meaning that billions of people will still tune in for the games, classifying FIFA, in our eyes, as an unconsciously competent organization.